Welcome, Mike, to Kuhn Assault Saturday. How's everybody doing? It is week 16. The Chiefs and the Texans are currently playing right now. So if you see me veering off to the right over there, we switched the camera setup at my apartment right now. It is fucking freezing and cold, and I spent the entire morning bopping around New York, looking at apartments. So I was like, I would like to be inside in my home. So we are doing the live stream from my apartment right now. Switch it up a little bit. Now the TV's on that side, so I can look at it while we're playing because there's NFL football on. And as beautiful as my laptop screen is, I would rather be watching the game than watching my screen. Merry Christmas, Mr. TNS. And as always, Saturday Q and Assaults. I answer any sit-star questions you may have for your semifinals or your finals or trade or waiver wire, whatever y'all have for me, okay? So we're here for that. While people come in, possibly come in, there's not many people in here right now because might just not be a lot of people left in they semifinals. We're going to open things up a little bit differently in this one. And what we're going to do is look at some of the... Can y'all see that? Yes, you can. Look at some of the bets that I have open right now, and they're all player prop bets, so you can get a little bit of glimpse into the way I'm feeling about some of the players for today and tomorrow in the games. And you could always track all of my bets and stuff on Pickit. That is like a social app where you can follow any of your favorite creators, and it shows all the bets that I make on Underdog or DraftKings or wherever. So we have one slip open right now in the games today. We have Hollywood. I had his longest reception lower than 19.5 yards. He made a catch before that I wasn't sure if it went for 19 or 20. Let's actually check that out. I was not able to verify during the game. Motherfucker. Okay, so that was a 20-yard catch, unfortunately. So we are cooked on that slip. That's wonderful. Yeah, I flexed it up to 19.5, and of course he has a 20-yard catch on a stupid fucking broken coverage, whatever. I took Marvin Harrison over 9.5 receiving yards first quarter for tomorrow's game against Carolina. Just love the matchup. I think they're going to get him involved. I think Kyler's a much better player when he's not under pressure, and Carolina does not put pressure on quarterback. So I like the setup for him. I like the setup for Arizona's offense tomorrow, and just, being able to kind of do whatever they want against the Carolina defense. And then we have today, Najee Harris, 39.5 rushing yards. That is an alternate line. He was set at 44.5, and I push it down for a little more juice there. Someone's hurt for Houston. I can't tell who it is. Someone with a C on their jersey. I think it's on the defense. Yeah, Najee Harris, 39.5. While I do think it's a really tough matchup against Baltimore, and I don't imagine the game script's going to go in their favor, without George Pickens, they're going to shove the ball down Najee's throat, and there is some weather to be concerned about. I took Baltimore -6, like as soon as the line opened up earlier on Sunday. I'm not sure what it's at now. Let's actually check that, see if it's moved at all. Okay, so it's at 7, so I got it at a point better than what it's at right now. Baltimore's -7, got him at -6 when the line originally opened up. So feeling pretty good about that. Let's move over to tomorrow's slips that I've made. And again, you guys can always tell me. This is the Pickit website. Their app is primo. All right. If you go download the app, use code BDGE when you do so. It's free to download. It is free to enter. That's how y'all support us. Let them know that we sent you over there. They'll give you a free spin on their wheel, which is like a free $3 to $100 for no reason. They just do it for new signups. So yeah, go sign up, code BDGE, and you could follow me on there. So we also have Trey McBride. This is the day. This is the day Trey McBride gets into the end zone. He has had 8 red zone targets over the last 3 weeks. They are forcing him targets down by the end zone. They know he does not have a touchdown. So this is the week that it comes against Carolina. Carolina allows a ton of points to the tight end position. So this is the week Trey McBride scores a touchdown. I also have Chuba Hubbard scoring a touchdown against Arizona in this one. What other entries do we have here? We have a slip of Jared Goff, lower than 258.5 passing yards. This is another game where we are slightly concerned about the weather. So here are some of the weather concerns for tomorrow's games. You can see up on the screen right now. If you're listening to the podcast afterwards, highly suggest you go check it out on YouTube. We've got Houston and KC playing right now, not overly concerned. Anything green-yellow is not a crazy concern, but definitely something you could use as a tiebreaker. Yellow gets a little bit more concerning. You have Pittsburgh at Baltimore, cold and breezy, temps in the 30, 10 to 15 mile per hour wind, gusts into the 25. I won't even rule out, a little zesty there. I won't even rule out a few raindrops or snow flurries for the Rams and the Jets. Temps in the 20s with a 10 mile per hour wind. Minnesota at Seattle, scattered showers. And then New England at Buffalo, temp in the teens, light wind. So absolutely fucking freezing out there. You just have a lot of cold weather games this week. Cleveland at Cincy, temperatures around freezing. Detroit at Chicago, temperatures around 30 degrees, 10 mile per hour winds make it feel even colder than that. So that was one of the reasons, like, Jared Goff just does not play well in the cold weather. They're at Chicago. It's like one of the first times they're not playing, inside the dome, etc. So Jared Goff at 258 feels very, very, very high for right now. Yeah, what else do we have in that slip? We had Jared Goff. I had Chuba over 65.5. Adam Thielen over 54. Never feels great to double down on just overs or hires in the Carolina offense, but we're going to do it. Adam Thielen, you got Jalen Coker questionable. You have Xavier Leggett out. You have David Moore questionable. It might just be completely Adam Thielen's show here. All right, let's get Bike into some of the questions that y'all may have for me. But again, that was Pickett, all right? So you can go to Pickett.com or download the Pickett app in your app store. And when you do so, make sure where it asks you where you were sent from, you hit it with BDGE. Free to do so. You don't have to put your credit card in. You don't got to pay anything to download this sheesh. Influence, how come nobody, oh. Did he get in? No, he's down at the 2. Hollywood about to be a difference maker for this team, huh? No one wants to say Happy Hanukkah? No? Y'all just assume I'm a good Christian man? Full PPR, pick 2. We got Marvin Harrison Jr., we've got DK Metcalf, we've got Amari Cooper, Jalen McMillan, or Tyrone Tracy. So Cooper is super boom or bust. He's really only running about 50% of the routes. Jalen McMillan, I sneaky like a lot. He's got a good matchup. He's been really hot. Tracy, questionable right now. Tough matchup against the Atlanta Falcons run D. Their run D is a lot better than their pass D. The Giants offense is just abysmal. And there goes, who got in there? Was that Hunt or Pacheco? I can't tell. Say something. Do something for me. I got the volume down. I can't tell who scored there. Someone in the Chiefs team scored a rushing touchdown. It looks like he looks fat. Yeah, it's definitely Hunt. Full PPR, I'm going to roll with Marvin Harrison Jr. as 1. I'm going to take Cooper and Tracy out, and for me, it's between DK and McMillan. You know what we're going to do also, just to give you guys a little bit of a tiebreaker? We did this a few weeks back. We looked at some of the Vegas lines. There is a good website called Vegas. Actually, I think they got bought out, but it's, if you go to tools.32, the number 32, beatwriters.com, they rip off projections for every player based on scoring here. Did you say? Yeah, full PPR, what Vegas has them projected fantasy-wise. Right now, the number 1 player on the week is Jahmyr Gibbs. Number 2 is Jamar Chase. We'll see where Metcalf is at. He's at 13.2 PPR fantasy points, which is 44th. And then we have Tracy's below him, of course. McMillan's going to be even further down, probably. Yeah, he's down at 9.2. I think I'm going to go with DK. I think I'm just going to play it safe here, go MHA and DK. But it would be between DK and McMillan. Overall, I'm going to roll with the first 2, though. I really like MHA's matchup. Need some cone merch. Yeah, that'll probably be in our next drop. Ryan, what's good, brother? I got 2 questions. Full PPR league. Start 1 at running back. We got K9. We got Brian Robinson, Tajay Spears, or Jerome Ford. At wide receiver, DJ Moore, Jaden Reed. Merry Christmas, big dog. Merry Christmas to you as well. I'm actually going to go with DJ Moore here in the wide receiver question. I mean, he's just been producing at a much higher level than Jaden Reed. Reed's got very little consistency. Their game plan against New Orleans is going to be Josh Jacobs. He's probably like the 3rd receiver in the pecking order for me right now for the Packers after Dobbs and Watson. So it's more for me there. 1 running back. Ooh, that's a tough one to decipher here. I would say off the rip, like let me make sure we have complete injury updates on, I believe Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are both expected to play in this one, which makes that backfield really fucking messy, in my opinion. And it's a tough a tough matchup against Minnesota. They're both going to play, which makes it impossible to play either of them. Brian Robinson against Philly, tough matchup. He played pretty well against them last time, and Jaden Daniels is going to be a lot healthier this time around against Philly than he was last time. So I think they'll have a little bit more success with Tajay Spears. He's the really tough one here because we don't know about Tony Pollard's status. I'll say this. If Tony Pollard doesn't play, let me see if I can get something here. Tony Pollard's just been DNP, 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 but he's played through that before, which is crazy, but it is. If Tony Pollard doesn't play, Spears is going to be my number one here. Otherwise, I'm going to go with Brian Robinson. Okay, that's where I would go. TNS, standard scoring, start Kyler, Kupp, Tyreek, Achane. I need one running back, one tight end, and one flex. Options are Tracy, Tony P, Abdullah, McBride, Jonnu, Thielen, Coker, Kraft. All right, we got a lot to decipher here. So we need one running back between Tracy, Tony P, Abdullah. Yeah, I mean, if Tony P plays, it's going to be him for me. If not, in standard scoring, I'm definitely not going towards Abdullah with Alexander Madison back. It would be Tony P, Tracy, in that order, just, depending on injuries, because they're all questionable at this point. But yeah, Tony P, Tracy, Abdullah, that would be my ranking of them. For one tight end, you need McBride. Yeah, I mean, McBride, I would play McBride and Jonnu. Those would be my starters. Tony P, McBride, Jonnu. Marcy, need a defense. Cardinals, Colts, Bucks, or Ravens. Ooh, okay. Let me bring some matchups up here. We have the Cardinals, who are 5-point favorites in Carolina. That checks the box for me. That's pretty good. The Colts are 3.5-point favorites at home against Tennessee. I sneaky like the Bucks, man. They're 4.5-point favorites in Dallas. I like Baltimore as well. Baltimore's kind of nice with no George Pickens. My gut is telling me to go with one of the bottom two. I think the Bucks have been a lot better as of recently. Like they can still be had through the air, but their run defense has really started to tighten up. And I kind of feel like Dallas will not be a good offense if they have to get really one-dimensional and can't get any success out of Rico. I think if it were my team, I'd probably roll with the Ravens. It's a good matchup against Pittsburgh without George Pickens, so I'd probably roll there. Mr. Influence, full PPR, one wide receiver, one flex. We got Jennings, MHJ, McMillan, Jane Reed, Pollard. If he plays, Jerome Ford. Yeah, so I'm definitely in for a Jennings bounce back here. I think Jennings will be perfectly fine. I think Brock Purdy's been getting healthier. Jennings' involvement and overall just opportunity has been, top 15, top 10 most weeks. So Jennings in there as one of my starts for sure. And then flex, I kind of really like MHA this week. I'm not sure why. Jerome Ford, I would love to play him. Like, he's in such a good spot for opportunity, but I just have zero fucking trust in that offense with DTR running the ship. I have zero trust in Jaden Reed right now in that matchup. It's like a good matchup versus the Saints, but I just worry that because it's really cold, they're just going to keep it on the ground and not ask Jordan Love to throw the ball more than 25 times. When you have 3, 4, 5 good passing options between the receivers, Tucker Kraft, Josh Jacobs, whatever, like, I don't know what his involvement's going to be. So Jerome Ford's going to be out. Jaden Reed's going to be out. I like McMillan, but I think that's getting too cute throwing him over MHJ. I like Pollard too if he plays. I mean, we've seen him play so well through the multiple DMPs, but I guess he makes me a little bit nervous. Yeah, you know what? I think I'd actually probably just roll with the two top wide receivers. I think I'd go Jennings and MHJ. Happy Chanukah, happy Stains to you as well. Ethan was good. Half PPR. Patrick Taylor or Madison. I'm hurting from injuries. Yeah, I go Patrick Taylor. I think Taylor. I think he has more upside. I think he probably has a similar volume floor, and I would even say that he probably has more upside just from an opportunity standpoint. Because at this point, Amir Abdullah is like a player in this offense. He's going to get the passing down work, and he's going to be very involved in the offense, whereas Patrick Taylor might just get like 15, 20 touches in a pretty good and improved offense. So, yeah, I like Patrick Taylor. Dixon, what's good, my brother? Went from 2-6 before finding BDG and now in the champ. Wow, let's fucking go. That's an endorsement. I mean, I didn't do shit. That was all you, my friend. So thanks, big dog. I need one flex, one tight end, and one quarterback, full PPR. Pollard, Shakir, Judy, Ridley, Ford, Hawk, Laporta, May, or Love. Okay. Let's start with the quarterback. We have Drake May and we have Jordan Love. Ooh, okay. These are two options that I don't love this week. I think you could talk yourself into liking either one of them. On one hand, you have Green Bay, who should dismantle the Saints, but it's not necessarily pass-friendly script. Like Jordan Love has finished as a top 10 quarterback twice this year, and it was in week 6 and earlier both times. It was one game where they got down from Minnesota by like 3 touchdowns immediately. Yeah, the matchup is good, but like I don't know that I trust Jordan Love right now. Drake May kind of scares me too, though, because it's going to be really cold weather out there in Buffalo, and they're like 14-point underdogs as well. He's going to have to throw the ball. He'll probably run the ball a decent amount. May's so going to end up scoring more than Jordan Love, but just like fucking doing it only by backdooring his way in. Like Jordan Love's going to have a nice 17 points, and then Drake May's going to have like 11 points the entire game, and you're like, fuck. And then on the last drive, he's going to end up, throwing for 25 yards, rushing for 17 yards, and then like scrambling and a rushing score in and go for 20. So that being all said and whatnot, I'm going to go Jordan Love. I'm going to go Jordan Love there. We need one tight end between Hawk and Laporta. Ooh, that's kind of an interesting question. So we have, the Lions against the Bears, and we have the Vikings against the Seahawks. Laporta's been a lot more involved. He's been a lot better. I just don't love the passing outlook here for the Detroit Lions offense. So I'm actually going to go with Hockenson here. And then for a flex, full PPR, we got Tony P, Shakir, Judy, Ridley, Ford. Okay, so again, like the Browns offense is one I just don't want to invest into. So I'm going to push them out there. I'm going to sit Ford. I'm going to sit Ridley or Judy. I like Ridley. I like Shakir as well. Pollard's cool, but again, the banged upness kind of scares me a little bit. If it's my team, I'm probably gonna roll Shakir. I think he makes me feel the safest here. Sorry, that was a very long-winded answer. But Dixon, just to recap, I would go Love, I would go Shakir, and I would go Hawk. Stream Cardinals or Colts defense. I am going to roll with the Cardinals in that one. Stroud, what you got? Broken-ass offense. Would you go as far as starting AR over Goff, 4-point passing touchdown? I have no problem with that. If you need upside, I am super fine starting AR. I think if it's like a really close matchup and you just want the floor, I would be okay with Goff. But I think like just given the weather, the game script, Chicago's pass D is pretty good. I would be fine going AR over Goff. I don't think it's crazy. Full PPR. Do I stick with Kupp this week? Then I flex. Do I choose Jalen Coker, Keon Coleman, Jay McMillan, Tajay, or Kendry Miller? If I don't play Kupp, do I pick one of these wide receivers instead? I feel fine about Kupp. I know he had the 0, but if you look at his game logs prior to that, since coming back from the injury, I mean, he's been pretty much as consistent as they come. Starting in week 8, 5 for 51 and a touchdown, 11 for 104, 7 for 80, 6 106 2, 8 for 60 and a touchdown, 3 for 17, 5 for 92 and a touchdown, then the 0. So he basically had like one bad game out of 8 games, and not even one bad game. Like the other games were genuinely all fantastic games in PPR league. So I'm not going to overthink Cooper Kupp, especially in a really good matchup against the Jets. I'd be confident going back to him. And then you need a flex. Jalen Coker I really like, but he did pop up on the injury report. Let me see if we have any finalized updates for him. This offensive line is terrible for the Texans. Yeah, we don't have any update on Jalen Coker, man. He's questionable. I don't like that. It scares me a little bit. I think he's a good play if he plays. I really do. Keon Coleman, I'm not too interested in. I don't like starting any of the Buffalo wide receivers at this point, especially in a game where they're 14-point favorites, where they can just get ahead and they might not even need to catch the ball in the fourth quarter. McMillan, I do like. It's a really good matchup against Dallas. That's really banged up on defense. Tajay is interesting if Tony Pollard sits. I'll say if Pollard sits, then Tajay's for sure my number one in this scenario. Oh, Samaje to the crib. Oh, nah, he too fat. What's the Chiefs just fucking be rolling out the fattest running back groups, bro? They're like the Dudley bros. Tajay, yeah, Tajay would be my one if Pollard don't play. Kendre Miller. Kendre is really interesting too. I just don't know if in a full PPR I want to roll that way against the Packers. They'll somehow get somebody else involved as a passing down player. Because Kendre's not a pass catcher. So in full PPR, Miller drops a little bit further down. My instinct here is to go, sit down, Mahomes. My instinct, again, Tajay if Pollard's gone. I think I like McMillan a little bit more than Coker, only on the injury news. If Coker plays, I wouldn't blame you for going Coker over McMillan. The matchup's really good, but it is for McMillan as well. If we hear reports that like Coker is going to be a full go, I think I could see myself rolling that way, but otherwise I would go McMillan. Marcy, we got Kincaid or Kraft full PPR. I'm gonna go Kraft there. I like Kraft. Annabelle Abba Brownell. That is quite a fucking name. Full PPR, pick 2. Juwan Jennings, BTJ, Garrett Wilson, Malik Neighbors. Already starting running backs, Achane. Jesus Christ. Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard. What a squad you have there. I just don't think you have a lot of bad options. Like, I have no problem with any of these. Holy shit. Was that Hollywood? Oh. Oh, no, it was Worthy. Would have been a sexy-ass catch. So we have Juwan Jennings, projected 13.2 PPR. We have Brian Thomas, projected 15.8. And my instinct is definitely to go with Brian Thomas here as one of them for sure. We have Garrett Wilson, 14.2. We have Malik Neighbors, who's going to have a really high floor against Atlanta at 15.7. I think I like the two rookies, as crazy as that sounds. I like BTJ. I like Malik Neighbors. Tough to sit Garrett Wilson, but Devontae Adams has been, the apple to Mr. Rogers' eye there. Malik's a lock pretty much for 10-plus targets, and it's a good matchup against the Atlanta secondary there. BTJ has just been man-fucking possessed, and he gets an incredible matchup against Vegas. But, Annabelle, honestly, congrats on your fucking championship. What a team you have. Dixon, much love. BDG's been so good. I don't want to tell my league mates about it, y'all, but I might have to because I want to see y'all blow up. That's an occupational hazard. Been getting comments like that since I started making videos fucking 10 years ago. It's all good. You can keep it to yourself. I appreciate your support and just being here. Hunter, flex in full PPR. We got Thielen or Ridley. I like Thielen. I'd go Thielen there, man. Again, matchup, opportunity. Him and Bryce have a real connection there. You got Leggett out, Coker and David Moore both questionable. Like, if either or both of those guys end up missing the game, like, Thielen might have 12-plus targets in this one. I like Ridley too. Obviously, he's set up in a really good matchup here where I think he can have a really big game. But my gut tells me to go with Thielen here. There's not a lot of players that I like above Thielen as like a really solid PPR floor play. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know? Do you know? All right, homies and homettes, big girls, friends and enemies. Looks like the questions have died down, so I'm going to leave y'all at that. That will be the semifinals, Q and Assault. And as always, we will be back for the very last, very last. Next week, next Saturday, the last Q and Assaults. The content schedule for this upcoming week will be a little bit different because of the Christmas Eve, etc. I think what I'm going to do is for the Monday recap live stream, it's going to be one long, or not one long, but it'll be a particular focus on the waiver wire. So we'll have like the live stream game by game recap along with a little bit more focus on the waiver wire. So there will not be a full focus waiver wire video for that week, just more so throughout the throughout that video. We'll pepper a little bit more, but since you guys are in here as Q and Assault members, that means you're a Big Dog member and you get access to the waiver wire rankings regardless, so it won't really matter for you. And then on Tuesday before Christmas Eve, I'll actually try to film the running back and wide receiver preview videos, so those can go live Tuesday and Wednesday before the Christmas Day games. So we've got a lot of shit to do over the next couple of days. All right. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Marcy, I'm riding Kraft there. Ride Mr. Kraft to the goddamn mac and cheese moon. Love y'all. I'm out. Smoochies.